Okay, and good evening, everybody, and welcome to TFC Open Mic episode 41. It's mid-raid mayhem. Okay, welcome everybody, and how's your raid going? Let's have a quick look. We've got Brian across the front there. Then we've got George. Imri's in, the little thieving little pirate. Okay, Stu's in, and we've got a new individual. You want to introduce yourself first, mate? I know you come from Texas. Stu already told me that. Do you want to introduce yourself, mate, and say hi?
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm the host from Sector 467. Coin free all day, every day.
We like that. That's good. There's two of you. Brian's got a thumbs up straight away. That's good. Okay. So there's a few of us admins in here. There's a few slots available. I know everybody's raiding. I get that and that sort of stuff. But you know, if you get a pause where actually everything's crashed, then you know, and you're about to sort of obviously go and either coin or just put them on slow fix, then you could pop in here and then tell us how good or bad things are going. Imri, how are things going for you, mate?
I drive like crap.
You drive like crap. We'll talk about driving in a minute because I've done a couple of videos and that sort of stuff. I'll talk about how I'm getting on in a minute because I didn't actually get a chance to start properly till this morning. But hey, there's a new player, Gerald Black. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, very good. Okay, what sector you in, Gerald, mate? And what's your game name?
I'm Gummy Bear.
Gummy Bear. Welcome, buddy. What sector you in, mate?
101.
Oh, all right. Okay. All right then. That's an area I've not been to for a long time. That's good. And how's the raid going for you, buddy?
The raid, it's going good.
Yeah.
I'm just about done with it. All I gotta do is just get the last few tokens, and I'll be all done.
Okie dokie. So I was just gonna say. So how far have you got with the holes? Did you bother with getting the Canada yet, or have you gonna wait for that one?
Yeah. No, I've got all the hauls, all the prizes except for some of the tokens. The only thing I haven't got.
All right. Oh, well done. That's cool. That's excellent. Have you been particularly using Tide Seekers, or have you managed to hit the S sets?
I've been using Tide Seekers on the level 5, and then my Hell Rash on the 105 and 107s.
All right. Oh, cool. You're fully going for it then, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, right. Excellent. Okay. Right. So Stu, just interesting. Stu's going to tell us about how his raid's going on because I had a bit of a giggle about Stu earlier on. So, Stu, how is your raid going, mate?
Awful. I decided to make the worst mistake ever and forget it was 6 days long, and think, oh, I need to rush this because I've got stuff to do, and so then I ran out of coins. But yeah, I'm on 130 million. The only thing I haven't redeemed is the Zelos, I think it is.
Yeah.
I pretty much have everything else I want. There's a couple of tokens laying around, some hydraulic resistors I wouldn't mind.
So
But besides that, I have everything I need.
Okay.
I might get the Zelos. I'm not 100% convinced on it myself yet. It depends. Depends if I can find more funded.
Yeah, that's that issue about obviously that's that generalist hull, isn't it? Which we're not quite sure where that sits. Is that the new Punisher, or is that just something that just threw out for people that just want to get a few points?
Well,
I'm not
I
quite
think
sure.
it's probably going to be a pretty decent tank in that, which is why I'm, thinking about picking it up. But it depends on the mistakes I make, because I do make mistakes, especially in the 107. It's quite a hard target to get used to, and occasionally, if you do slip up, then you pay the price.
Yeah, I've got a clip for that.
Expensive price. I mean, you can literally lose like a sub through just one mistake. So it's really hard to kind of get down into it.
No, I agree.
But,
yeah.
I mean, for the most part, the raid's been okay. I prefer that they'd left, just the one target like from before. But I mean, it is what it is, isn't it? So.
Yeah, it is. Didn't they do this the last time they're on the end of the last cycle though? Where they added
They did, and
second?
to be fair, the difference between that cycle and this cycle is huge. Considering the last cycle, they made it so the people with the Zoe's Apollo, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Zoe's Apollo did a lot better than the people that didn't have it. I mean, this time it didn't really matter if you had a Phantom Hellwraith built or not. So, there's always that plus side. At least they didn't make it harder for those that only have 4 Hellwraith.
Hmm. Did you feel prepped for this one, or did you not feel prepped? Do you think you've been caught out?
Actually, I was caught out on one thing. Well, when the the Tide Seekers were released, they were specifically listed to do A sets.
Yeah.
And I've been noticing people having great success doing S sets with them, with a Hardlock Tide Seeker lead, of course.
Yeah.
And
That's okay.
for that alone, I've kind of been, a bit annoyed, because I didn't really build them for that, And if I'd known that, I would have built them for it. No?
They did say that.
No, they didn't say they were going to be for S sets. They said for A sets.
They said with the Hardlock Tide Seeker that they would be able to go up one more and do the S sets. They actually
Where
said
was that?
They said that on our show, Stu.
Oh crap! I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
No, you didn't watch it, but you were
I've
on
been
it.
call out.
So
You
you need
on it?
Hyperion fragments to get the Hyperion.
Oh, I give up on life. Fuck my life.
Yeah, it
But
was
no,
on the show, and you were on the show, mate. But hey, don't worry about it.
Oh, stop it. No, I all right. Well, I must have missed that. But either way, I wasn't prepared with the Tide Seekers, and it was kind of a punishment, because I mean, let's be honest, right? We all built the Hell Raids because they were the ships that were designed to do the target, right?
Yeah.
All right. I built my fleet. Why do I have to build another fleet?
No, agreed. I understand.
Right.
Like I say, I've got a bit of a clip in a minute, and I'll show some people how I'm doing, because I'm personally just doing sets only. I only started this morning, and it's not about blowing your own trumpet, but I can drive subs, and I was quite good in the 105s. I found a good route last time. I've managed to click through I mean, not all mine, I have to say, because I did use a couple of people's videos. I've slightly changed the path for something that I like, the way I prefer to drive the 107, and I've just completed my 15th set in a row now with coin free, so I'm happy now. I'm at 233 and a bit million now, and like I said, I started this morning, so
What do you do, Basil?
Yeah, but I'll show you them. I'll tell you.
Yeah, no, my rate's all right. It's going fine.
That's good. That's good. And evening, Mike. How are you, mate?
I'm okay. How are you?
Yeah, good, buddy. Good to see you on. How's your raid, mate? How's it going?
It's going okay. I'm grinding the level 5s.
You're using Tide Seekers, mate?
I am using Tide Seekers. Same ones from... No, sorry. Hell Raids. Same one from the last raid.
Right.
I could do the 105s last time, but with the addition of the 107, I just didn't feel like I would be able to do it.
Uh-huh.
Today I'm doing it coin free, but I did spend to get to, I think I'm at 150 million.
Well, that's good.
Closing in on 160.
Oh, that's
So it
fine.
should get me the things I need. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're
So I'm
already
trying
there, yeah, that's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, trying to do it coin free today.
That's good, mate. 160. And I say, I mean, we're Saturday evening, that sort of stuff. We're Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. That's not bad, is it? 48 hours just past a little bit. That's pretty good going.
Yeah, 3 more days. I'm going to try and do 20 more sets, and actually, I'm going to do 2071s and then go to 2073s and then do 2075s to try and keep a rhythm going.
All right. Yeah. I mean, it depends. I mean, honestly, some people are doing. I mean, some are doing them on auto and that stuff. I must admit, you get a lot more completed if you drive them, without a doubt. Because you can pick.
I did alter them in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I altered in the beginning, but I thought if I could get a steady rhythm going, the same process each time, I might alleviate some of the damage.
Okay. All right. That's good. It's good to see you. And hi, Nines. How you doing, mate?
Yeah.
Doing good. How you going, man?
Yeah. This won't be as long a show tonight as it obviously last night's crib show was. For those that watched that,
Purgatory.
I was laughing my head off. Hefe and the guys and Tito and that stuff. They do make me smile and that sort of stuff. But by God, that was a long one. I was doing some stuff this morning in the house, and I was like that. Oh, I'll just pop that on, and I always listen to the guys afterwards, or if I can, obviously when it's live, but it's quite late for me. And I was like that. Man, this is a long show. This is going on. I thought it'd finished, but no, there they were still going, and they were going on, and then basically an hour and 20. I was like that. Okay, it's going even more. 2 hours and a bit in the end. So that was quite interesting. Made me smile. But
that's normally what happens when George gets his way without Stu to fight with him.
yeah, I think it was missing a bit of correctional training there from Stu, beating him up a little bit. But that was good. It was good fun, I must admit. So I've got I know personally how Nines is getting on, but you can tell us now on the TFC. Nines, how's it going for you, mate?
Well, at the beginning when I had a demo crew, I was with a demo crew on the water and a grease monkey on the dock. I was doing S sets with a Hardlock Tide Seeker and 3 Calamity Seekers for 4 coins a set.
Mm-hmm.
And even once I ran out the demo crews, I was doing them for 6 apiece. Finally ran out of coins at about 120 million for 102 coins.
Right.
And now I'm autoing A sets. I was doing 20 million, but I've actually noticed over the past 2 days, I've actually took more damage over time. I've dropped from 20 million a repair to 16 million a repair.
16, yeah. I've noticed that myself. My last one I've just done, I've actually dropped one cycle, complete cycle. Whether that's just fatiguing me the way I'm driving, that stuff. You get a bit cocky sometimes, don't you? But I'm not sure. But I've left my tires because alone for a little bit.
I'm not driving. That's the thing. I'm autoing, doing
right.
the exact same thing. No different crews. It's not even with a crew, actually.
Yeah,
and it was originally 20 million at the start. Yesterday, it was 18 million. And today, it's 16 million for an 8-hour repair.
Interesting.
Seconded. I was getting 2 hours, 5 minutes, plus or minus like 2 minutes at the start. For 2 sets on auto with the one ship. Same ship, no crew at all. And now it's 2 hours 20. So a little over.
You're really tweaking it during the raid, are you?
Yeah. It's still in my bounds that I can call it variance.
You're all lying. You're all confused.
I can call it variance and be okay with it, but I'm also going to give Kicks a bit of a shifty eye here. Like, guys, okay, come on now.
Sorry, I'll just rewind. My apologies. Congratulations on the Santa hat, Brian. It's very nice.
Hey.
Festive. I like it. It's really, really good.
Festive.
It is festive. Okay, then. So we're not going to play Takeshi's Castle tonight because he's dressed up. So that's good. Which is excellent. Good. Excellent. So, be interesting to see. So is everybody trying to go for this Cannoneer? Okay, because obviously we know as it stands at the moment, and we don't know what's coming out in the next round of FM targets for the tier 5 and tier 4 stuff. But is everybody going for the Cannoneer this time round, just in case that in the FM the new weapon and special comes out that we were told about when obviously we had some of the Kixie guests on our? Or do you think that new weapon may actually be for the Malice instead, and nothing to do with the Cannoneer? The Cannoneer, as by the picture in this raid, is a D110. Which means there's going to be lots of walls potentially in the next raid series, because that's what that thing does, and armor-piercing shells as well. So what do you think?
I have a very hard time believing that a weapon and special will be specifically designed for the Malice and its job, but not for the Cannoneer and its job, unless they class lock the weapon and special to Conqueror. Both targets would appear to have walls. You can kind of see that because the Cannoneer has an inherent wall damage bonus. They're siege targets. You're going to be plowing through walls with the Malice. You're going to be plowing through walls with the Cannoneer. I'm going for the Cannoneer, but that's because I'm capable enough to get the points. I actually redeemed it just this morning. But if I didn't think I would be able to do it, I guess I'd be okay with not getting it and just working on a different fleet.
Right, got you. Okay, that's interesting. It's just I'll just bring it up. Actually, I'm just going to quickly screen share something, because I think it's quite interesting the way they decided to when you pick the prize and you go to select it. Everyone can see that now, yeah. So looking around there, obviously they got the rail guns, and obviously they got the special there for it. Interesting, obviously for the armor protection, obviously is special as well. The damage protection, sorry. And they're talking about sea armor there. Obviously it's ballistic armor, a bit of evade, and then obviously some radiation defense as well. So is that generic, do you think, or do you think they're trying to give us? They're pretty good at hinting normally.
I think that's a little bit of both. I think it's generic and some hints thrown in there.
Yeah, because I can confirm from old. Some of the reasons why we started going up the 2-tier ladder system on the raids was because people were picking some pretty random prizes and then realizing they couldn't put a hull together once they'd actually finished the raid,
right?
Because they picked the wrong type of prizes to get the wrong type of things. And the two things just didn't work.
I'm wondering why they got the D110 on there. I would have put the Arbalest.
Yeah, but it's weight, isn't it?
This is a siege raid.
Yeah, I get it. I understand, mate. But maybe the target itself, the final target, is that the turret itself might not have a huge amount of armor protection on it. But you've got to cut through like our walls at the moment. You try and take a Malice in there with anything that's got splash on it that doesn't have some wall cutting capability. Nothing's going to happen.
Right, but if we're going to follow that logic, then why do they have the evade armor in there when they have all this other radiation stuff, and then they didn't put in radiation armor? I mean,
Yes.
I'm just saying, I think it's partially generic and some of it is maybe not, but I don't think they're gonna, I don't think they came right out and said, hey, here's some of the combination. I think they
No.
like us to figure out the puzzle.
Yeah, oh, very
Yeah,
much, so, and that's part of the game, isn't it?
Zelos, is it the Zelos? Something like that. If you look at that, it actually has like a bunch of components written down there as well. It says pairs well with that, and it pairs with like 2 different types of weapons and that. You know, so
But it
it's
does,
not
isn't it?
saying like, you know, oh, you need to have this on there, or
But
this
you can
will
see
work
the
best
Zealous
for you.
is. The Zealous
You
is,
know.
mate. You can see it's going to work with
Yeah.
launchers. It's also going to work with ballistics.
Yeah, but that's not saying like, oh, you have to have all of this on there, because I have actually seen the build on the page earlier that, you know, someone tried to mix launchers and cannons together, and it was a horrible mess. But you know,
Never mix 2 damages together.
Yeah, I've
but,
never
I
seen that
mean,
work well.
just because it says it pairs well with doesn't mean that you have to use it. You know, they're just saying here's an option for you. You know,
Look at Revenge and what that was designed for, and look what we actually put on it.
exactly.
You know,
I mean, I when we get to the guns, I mean, I want to actually say my tinfoil hat theory on the cannons.
yeah. I mean, you put the article out today, haven't you, George? So
I put a build together.
All right.
And that's just a wild ass guess at, you know, based on what the Cannoneer has for stats, what may work in the next raid. But you know, I mean, I had a long chat with Ren about it, and there's so many ways you can go depending on how the target is.
do you know what? I'll tell you what we'll do then. We'll spin it on its head. Okay. And let's not the admins. Okay. And Nines, you've had a good chat last night. So okay, we've got three other good individuals in there that I know can play the game well. What are you expecting in the next raid format, and what would you like to see? Either of you, don't mind who goes first, but what are you expecting, or what would you prefer to see in the next raid format in January's raid?
Personally, slow down on the Conqueror hauls and actually get some PvE stuff out there to help out. But I'm expecting the normal for a siege: radiation, ballistics. I'm almost expecting a Snowfall raid V2 coming out.
Yeah, Mike.
Really don't know.
You're not
To be
sure,
honest.
mate.
No.
Do you remember the Snowfall raid? Do you remember that one?
No, I was a bit back, and I recall it, but I don't recall the details of it.
Okay, because all the odd ice pools and that sort of stuff that really sort of like, you know, the first time we saw those, it threw everybody because they're like, what the hell are these damn things and that sort of stuff, you know.
Yeah, I think I was still working back then, and I didn't.
Okay.
It was just on.
All right.
Either Snowfall, or do you guys remember the ballistas that shot a path of fire on the water?
Yeah. Hulk, what about you, mate?
I mean, I really don't know, but I mean, the biggest question for me is if they have walls or not, because that will pretty much determine your build for the most part.
I would like to see probably, well, next week actually, maybe the week after. In fact, maybe the week between Christmas and New Year, and actually get us a preview of something, because obviously we're really in the dark, and this is the first time we've been in the dark, you know, totally in the dark about, you know, without a work in progress, you know, which we're not going to get back. We know that, but this is the first time we've been completely in the dark without any guidance whatsoever, and we've had a hull come out that we've not had any weapons to go with the hull. So it's a bit of a double negative in my perspective, you know. So whilst, yes, I'm going to build the holes, and yes, I'm going to get them on the VXP weekend and get them ranked up and ready, but they're still going to stay blank. I'm not going to go filling them up with pack cannons and that sort of stuff, because pack cannons ain't going to do a damn thing against wolves. You know.
Exactly. I see so many people that saying load the thing up with pack cannons and you're good. I'm like, if those things have walls, we've all agreed pack cannons do absolutely shit against walls, and you're just going to be trying to punch through the wall for 10 hours.
But then again, don't forget, you know, when we had obviously the Snowfall campaign, there were no walls. It was just turrets. So we may be sending ourselves down a you know, a garden path here that's got nothing at the bottom of it. And we may have to come back right to the starting blocks again and start again and go, do you know what? Actually, that was a mistake. We can go Earthshaker. We can go Arbalist. We can go, well, Arbalist is pretty decent on both aspects, actually, to be honest, because it's got piercing and it's got a bit of spread. But, you know, we can go pack cannon, or we can go something else, you know. It's just that total not knowing, I think.
Yeah, it's the first time that they haven't given us any indication prior to, like I have my fourth one in. It's going to be done tomorrow. I mean, hell,
Hacker.
I'd like to know what the hell's going on.
Well,
So-
I'm doing the Zoes at the moment, so I'm building that because I want to play with that over the next month more than the Cannator, because they build fast, don't they? So
Yeah.
I'm not in a rush for those. They won't take long to, I coin anyway, so I'll just coin for it then. But Zoe's 10 days, so I'm letting that build slowly.
The Zoes, I'm really curious about that, because if it's anything like the Harlock, I mean, I've seen a couple of hits, and wow. They're great. They're tearing shit up.
No, it's agreed. So,
Am
Brian, go on. You're the man with all the math and that sort of stuff. What have we got at the moment? Okay, so let's just assume, right? Well, we sort of know there's a new weapon coming out. We sort of know there's a new special coming out, because that's been hinted by, say, by the Kixie team themselves on our show. But if it's not for the Cannolator, what would you put on it? Or do you just, because we don't know the target, you're not going to put anything on just yet?
Well, this is no longer math and all pretty baseless speculation. Well, George wrote an article about it, and I agree with a lot of what he said. I think there are going to be walls. I would probably run railguns over arbalests only because of the weight. Because you remember you have the Siege Battery 3, which is a lot of total weight. You have the Nuclear Accelerator, which is a lot of weapon weight, and the arbalests are base 650 tons, something like that.
Yeah, heavy
so
as
that,
hell, yeah.
Yeah, by the end you add all your specials and such on, an arbalest is over 1,000 tons. And you want to save some room for your armors. I would try to load those up with D5s. You could probably drop one to D2, but I wouldn't go with more than one D2 of any type. Personally, I would put D5 of choose your favorite resists and agility system, the best one you've got, to help against the stun. Hopefully you won't be getting stunned after every single target, or it would just feel really bad. Oh, you were first to take a stun and then every hit. I don't think it's going to be mandatory. So just kind of build it how you would normally build something that has to deal with walls and siege only.
Yeah, because I think with the Cannolator, it gets a ballistic range of 100, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting, isn't it? Well, obviously with the right weapons on it, the railguns on it, or the pack cannon, anything with a 50, basically, obviously, because it goes up, doesn't it? So, yeah, that'll be interesting as well.
I actually have one tip that no one has hinted on yet.
Go on, man.
Everyone remember this. Keep like 5 to 10 small quick pinches.
Yeah, oh yeah. Stack them up, without a doubt.
Yeah.
That's all I build now. That's what I've got on my rocket dock, is just small pinches.
Yeah, 25 here.
Yeah, that's what I use now. And they're good enough. Even in base hits, you don't need the big one, that sort of stuff, Well, very rarely. So.
But yeah. I'm hoping with the Cannoneer, with the Apollo, we saw a ship that you did not have to put armor on it. Now, with the Tideseeker and, say, the Hellwraith, we're seeing where you have to put D5s on there. I'm kind of hoping the Cannoneer switches back to one of those unarmored ships that you don't actually need. But that's just my hope.
Or do you think the plate? Do you think the plate then is for the Centurion? Because then that would help that one out, because obviously that doesn't have the stun resistance, does it?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Be interesting. It's interesting they've released the thing I said to a couple of people in my alliance is they've released 15 of them exactly in this raid, which obviously there's 3 slots on the Cannoneer, and they've released 15 for a 5-ship fleet. I mean, I would never build 5 blank holes, because typically they end up coming with a a lead ship comes out a couple of months later. But it's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really know. I think that this would kind of be designed to have armor on it. A lot of the reason that people don't put armor on their Hellwraiths or their Apollos, the innate repair efficiency of those hulls is so low. 12,000 armor points to 90 minutes for an Apollo. It's a little under half, I think, like 0.42 or something like that. And Hellwraith is kind of the same thing. This is 0.8. It's the baseline that they've had. It's got a bunch of armor points inherently. I mean, you could add some for resist, but it's not going to change the repair efficiency all on its own. You might want to not add armor so that you can put more weight onto weapons, but I really would hope that the players make a choice in building the hull between, I can only put so many guns on this. Like they made it 8,000 tons. It's kind of on them. And for the Centurions, just put agility system your highest rank on for the stun resist. You'll be fine.
Yeah, absolutely agree. No, and definitely. I notice the Cannoneer is obviously only 8,000 tons, isn't it? So it's not actually, even though we've got up a dock level, it's still a lightweight ship and that sort of stuff in all up tonnage. So just bear that in mind. You can't go stacking on loads of arbalists and that sort of stuff, and siege battery 3 and that sort of stuff, because you'll be out of weight in no time at all.
One of the good things.
This build that I have here is 5 tons, literally 5 tons off of being maxed out.
Yeah.
But I feel actually one of the good things about the 8,000 tons, the last dock, 38,107 tons. So you could have about 7621 and have 5 ships, exactly the same. If you had it at or under that. And the Cannoneers only max 8,000. So even at a dock level lower, somehow if you got the Cannoneer and didn't have the new dock, you'd be able to have 5 pretty nearly fully sorted.
No, totally agree, mate. Totally agree. Right, Imri, you've been quiet, mate. I've been dying to ask you. Okay, what's been your method for the raid, buddy? How have you attacked this one?
Well, the 105 is pretty obvious. Go in with your hell rates and do the same thing as last time and the time before that.
Yeah.
But the 107, that's a different kind of animal.
It's unforgiving, isn't it?
Oh yeah, if I go in and get detected somewhere in the middle and I don't clean up the surrounding scouts, they come all at me and I'm surrounded and I die. So I need to clean up the surrounding area before I even go in and try to do something. And I've been busy playing with those stupid drones in there, because everyone knows that the hardest one is the bottom hulk, right? I figured out that if I kill the right drones at the right time, they respawn and stack with the previous ones, and then I get a bigger window when there's an opening. But
okay, mate.
It's super unforgiving, really.
Right, okay, that's quite timely then, because what I'll do is I've done a little video quickly, and I wasn't gonna, this is not about hey look at me and that sort of stuff, but I just think to help a few people out, I found a pretty reasonable. No, I haven't found a pretty rough. I've slightly adapted a path that's already been found before and that stuff. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to start really till this morning. I took a Tide Seeker in last night and that stuff and just waited until it died and then fixed it overnight, but I didn't really get a chance to start myself until today. So I watched a couple of videos and then basically I thought to myself, hang on a minute, I'll have a try at this. And okay, the first couple of goes wasn't so clever, but actually, to be honest, after a little while, I managed to go, do you know what, if I slightly adjust things, I can get this done. So just going to share this and then I'll start a little video. I've got 2 versions of it. I've got a quick version and a sort of a slower version, but I'll show you what I mean, because it's quite interesting actually to see just how things are going to play out. We'll get through the intro. This is ready to upload, so you just have to sit through this boring bit of intro, and then it's just a TFC logo bit. But yeah, so I'll start with the 107 first, but the video has got the 105 in afterwards. But both hits, basically, I managed to get both of them in for 13 minutes, which is not too bad, really. So for me personally, then, and this is obviously following another player's sort of idea, taking out those 3 first, the stationary one here on the right-hand side, and then I flip round and go to the left, and go up and pick up the 2 that's in the top left-hand corner. And there's only reason because of that, because obviously you're waiting for the drone bugs to do things down the bottom right-hand corner there. And actually you have to wait there for at least 1 complete submerge, so there's no point. So that just saves you time, nipping up there, taking those out of the way. And then coming back down and picking off then that 5th ship on the bottom right. I need to wait there until I surface, and then I can come in there, and coming quite low. Look at the angle, look, that's quite a decent angle. And then here comes that last set of drones, it's coming around. And if you go around at about the 5 o'clock position, there, you can go straight in now, look, come up quite high, and then go up till about 3 o'clock-ish. Boom, drop down into the bottom right-hand corner. So I've got a slow version of this as well, and that's it done. And then you can just pick all this stuff off. This isn't the perfect run because I left one of the Hades there and I had to pick it up afterwards, but it's still a damage-free run.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, this is at 300 speed, so times 3 speed. This one. So yeah, so normally I'd have picked up like Hades as well, which I've been doing, but I didn't on this particular run, but this is the only one actually videoed.
Yeah,
Just
when
do
I
it.
actually have the patience to do this with subs, hitting that bottom one seems to have been a much better choice for me than doing the top one first.
Yeah, that's a good, nice angle to come in at that one there. You get lots of patience, and you can actually drop down there and take out 2 of the Hades, by the way. I just went shot across there, but I've also been doing it. If I'm a little bit quicker across the top, you can take 2 Hades out to start with. And this is really forgiving. Those drones there go so far out that actually you can just sit there at the 3 o'clock position, and then you just go in over the oil slick. And I utilize some of the oil slicks quite often.
Yeah, the other thing is too is what people have found is that if you kill the top one first, the top pancake first, the bottom pancake will spawn the drones from the top and bottom. If you kill the bottom one first, the top one does not spawn the drones from the bottom one. So you actually have less.
Not only does it spawn the top ones, it also collects the drones that you haven't killed from the top. So that's my route for the 107.
Oh,
This is the 105. So mine's slightly different to other people's as well. So I tend to pick off those 3 first, go to the center, wait. The drones have gone out the way now. Pick off this second of the 2 big ships.
Yep, this is how you had to change mine.
Yeah, this is what basically I picked this one up from last raid just to pick up a bit more speed. Only because Imri was around and he was stealing people's targets, so I thought, well, I'm going to do it so I don't have to wait and go back in again. And then all Imri's crew disappeared and never bothered me after that. But hey, it's pirating. That's a game, isn't it? You know.
Yep.
So, since you did the preview, just wondering, have you noticed there's actually less damage in the target versus the preview?
I think there is less damage, I have to say, because I've made a couple of mistakes in the 107s and I haven't lost, if I get seen, I haven't lost a complete sub. I've nearly lost a complete sub, and my build's the same as anybody else's. I've got a couple of standard, well, in fact, nearly the same as everybody else's. In fact, when I post this video up, I'll put the build in as well, obviously. But it's a bit late. I don't expect anybody to rebuild, but it's just interesting to know.
Well, the reason I ask is because you actually pretty much tried my build on the preview test.
Yeah.
And if I remember right, I think you were taking like around, I think it was 8 or 9 coins per target.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was. But obviously, I haven't tried Tide Seekers at all in the S sets. I've just basically been autoing the tier 6. I've just been autoing the tier 5s while I've been doing this at the same time.
Do you know what I've learned from this video?
It's boring.
No, I should have paid you to do my raid. It would have been much cheaper.
There you go. So I mean, that was speeded up, but to be honest, that was 13 minutes for 6.5 million points. So that's not too bad.
That was really well driven, actually. I have to say that you have a lot of patience that I don't seem to have. Because it does take a lot of patience as well to pick the right moment to get that. Get the motherships and stuff like that. Especially if you miss your little window as well. Like you've got to wait around.
Well, if you miss that window on that 107, then you're in a bit of pain because you've got to wait 2 dives before it to come back again.
Yeah,
really
exactly. So it's a lot of patience, isn't it? And sometimes you're like, I don't want to wait.
It can be done because you get 3.5 minutes spare, just about roughly. So
it's patience and timing. I mean, that's the catch, especially with the 107.
Yeah, no,
well, timing's always going to be hard as well when you're using subs because I mean, you have to time them as well. So.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing the 105s all day, prepping for people, and to me, it really doesn't seem that hard to do, But so many people are like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you can do that, and I'm like, just hit the down button, man. So. Oh, stupid.
That was interesting.
What was that all about? Mike, what happened to Mike?
Yeah.
I think someone blew up.
I think Mike just went a bit funny. Have another go, mate.
Nope.
It's still bad, mate.
Nope.
Yeah, we won't have the washing machine in the background.
That's not good. It's still bad, mate. I don't know what's happened there, Mike. You were fine, and all of a sudden now it's all...
Nope.
It's still bad, mate.
You're going to have to probably drop and come back in or something.
Yeah, you might... Try dropping, mate, and then coming back in. We'll give that a go.
But what I was going to say was the 105 to me, and it just might be me, as I always thought it was just your timing with the down button. That was really all there was to it. The 107s,
Well, I do
on
have
the
a
other hand,
tip for you, actually. Rather than going straight at your target, twist to the left or right.
Mm.
You know, I find that helps so much more because you don't dart forward as much.
Yeah, no,
well, I mean,
absolutely agree.
on mine, I think on my vids, I've been showing people how to go up along the side, so that way you're not really
I
at.
can't remember who told me that. It was Pomake that told me that. Yeah, he told me it today. Because it actually saved me a lot of damage as well. Because I was always, trying to get on front, and then down that road as quick as I could. And I'd always just jump forward that little bit too much. But since I've been, going left or maybe right a bit, it's so much easier to control the movement.
If you come in parallel to them, it's a lot better than coming in perpendicular. I think I have several videos that show it that you can
see this here. Look, that's exactly what I was just saying there. Look, so
yeah.
See this angle here. Look.
Yep.
There. So you can be pretty forgiving as you come in, because it's going to take an awful long time then to. I mean, and it's surprising that we'll just keep going as it starts to fire. It starts to fire. You're not even overloading the. There, bang on. So I'm not over the halfway mark of the hole. As we know, you don't need to be over the halfway mark. But that was pretty forgiving. I was inching forward there, and it was pretty forgiving, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with the 107 though that I was going to say is that takes a little bit more of the precision drive overall. Yes, there's more finesse required in the 107 than the 105. I think. I mean, because I found the 105. It's either because I've been doing so many or something, but I think those are easy as hell. And the 107s, I still have to concentrate in.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
See, I'm finding now I've made more mistakes this afternoon in the 105s, probably because I'm rushing and I'm thinking I'm getting cocky and thinking I'm too good at them, sort of stuff, as we all do sometimes, and actually I'm focused on the 107s. I'm thinking, right, that's going to go, that's the angle. Yeah, go up at a 45 degree, come down there, do it at 3 o'clock, do this. Whereas the 105s, I'm going in a bit blasé, and I've taken more damage in the 105s. I've not lost a sub yet. But I'm getting nicked, and I'm getting like a 40-minute fix and sort of stuff,
Do you think maybe that it's because the 107s actually require more concentration?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, I did the first thing this morning when I first started. I did get nicked a couple of times in the 107s once I worked out that additional bit where you scoot over to the left-hand side and pick up those 2 targets. Right. But I still didn't lose a sub, and I was really quite surprised about that because in the preview you did, or I did anyway. So. Yeah, I was quite surprised, but anyway, that's me. So that's the thing, and I'll put that up as well, just in case some people are still trying to plug out some routes. And I've seen there's tons of videos and that sort of stuff, but that'll just for a bit of archive, I think, for as well. It's just to prove that you can do it, and that's to say both of those there 6.5. Is it about 6.5 million points for 13 minutes?
I think it's about 6.7, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 25 million an hour. That's quite reasonable, isn't it?
What I had to realize was that we got all these wonderful videos out there doing 107s for the easiest ways ever. The thing is that I got only 3 hell rates because that's all I ever needed before. And now I realize that I could really use a 4th one or maybe even a 5th one.
You could still do it with 3 hell rates. It would just take you a lot longer.
It's not that. It's just that all those videos, if I would try to reproduce them, it just doesn't work because I don't have the firepower.
Yeah, well, I did this morning.
Got the timing and everything.
I was going to say I have a video of the 105s being done with just 1 hell wraith.
And as of last night, we actually have a very nice video of trying to do a 107 with 1 hell wraith.
Yeah, how long did that take?
Oh, that took 2 hours.
That was like the whole show.
The whole show, it really was. I think it really was because he started with his ghost crawler. He lost it once, went in again, and then couldn't get the pancakes, and then went in and tried to do it with 1 hell wraith. And he did it. He finally got it.
And then
whoever
tried
put
2
in
hell wraiths
that much effort. I was going to say, whoever put in that much effort for that video, kudos to them. 2 hours to do a target, wow. That's some serious dedication.
He was doing it live.
Yeah, the video's the show. That's the video.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's some serious dedication. So congratulations.
We were trying to decide if the thing just committed suicide after that long.
Probably did. To be honest.
I think there was people saying they were going to ask Kicks coin their jump for him so they could go and steal it from like Emery does.
Yeah, in fact, Emery's name came up, didn't it? I heard that this morning. It was
possibly.
Yeah. So if not, your alley's not been stealing, because I think it's an ideal raid to go and steal some 107s. I would have thought it would have been perfect, because I can't see many people either finishing them complete, or maybe it's still just too much damage, because if that bottom one's not out of the way, you don't want to go and steal, because if the top one's gone, it'd be a right mess. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think they solved the problem with the Merc almost. They've officially stopped trying to fight it, and they're just trying to kill them of boredom.
Oh, right. Yeah, you might be right. Yeah, that's true. What I thought I'd actually quickly have a look at is, if you wouldn't mind, is just look at the prize packs and see what you think, because I think some quite interesting things in the prizes. I'll just share this again here. So looking for the prize pools, I mean, we know they've got the holes here. What's people's thoughts then about having to get this Zoe's Vendetta before you get the Cannoneer? Or, because I know some people haven't actually built Vendettas because they didn't need them, and they're not using them because they're not PvP people, but to go and get the whole.
Literally just about to say that. Some people aren't actually PvP players, so it's kind of a bit of a kick in the teeth for them. But
well, I will say this: I'm doing my third Vendetta right now. I'm not a base sitter at all. I'm actually using the Vendettas in the mines.
Really?
Yeah, I built a Centurion tank. With just going absolute crazy on the resist, and I have 2 Vendettas following it with an Omega, and just walk the 97 mine.
What I'd like to know is, what do you think about this hull in comparison to the Harlock Citadel?
Well, if you want my opinion, everything has a use in this game, and this no less than any other hull. I mean, the Harlock Revenge creates absolute beast tanks out of Revenges, and as always, Vendetta could be used as an absolute beast prepping flagship, Yeah. And then you've got a couple of Furies laying around. I presume everyone, that's heavily into PvP will have some Furies, some Retributions, stuff like that laying around. You throw a Zoe's Vendetta in, couple of Vendettas behind it, you've increased your critical chance on mortars, you get more damage, more projection speed. You can prep out some base guards really quick with that.
And it's got resonance trigger automatically built in. Self-resonance.
It kills the hell out of retributions and base gods now.
Which is what Citadels can't do.
That thing's going to be an absolute animal for prepping bases out.
Yeah.
It already is. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it hit bases. I've had it in. I think I've had it in my base actually. I have to go check.
Yeah, I saw it in your base. It tore it apart, even though he timed out.
Yep. And I didn't have my base guard in, but.
So it's obviously cold snap. No, resonance triggers are new on that actually, but that's the special abilities, But field effects, resonance trigger. Yeah.
I think this one is for any water targets or any bases, and we're still just going to be using the Harlock Citadel for our guard. Because if this thing gets hit with 2 or 3 daisy cutters, it's out.
It's had it, yeah. No, I agree.
Well, it's not just that, splash damage as well. I mean, a lot of people are running Vendettas for the base attack, and a little bit of splash damage on that is gone as well.
Although daisy cutters are only 50% on base attacks now, aren't they?
Yeah. No, I'm actually building a Zelos.
This is the next one I just picked on. So go on then. What's your thoughts about that then?
I'm going to try something. It's a 15-day build. I'm shooting in the dark here, where we all use Gale Gammas for anti-Vendettas. I'm actually going to do a Gale Zelos, all Gales all the way across it, and see how that works. Because that'd be about.
I missed that. Obviously, it didn't have that because obviously it's got. Where is it to? I can't remember what it is. It's one of them.
I'll tell you something actually, because I did play around with a build the second I saw this on Huggies. I was going to do the exact same thing he just said, replace a Gamma with the Zelos. But the unfortunate thing is that the Zelos doesn't survive as long as the Gamma.
Yeah.
I've got 98% explosive defense on mine with. If I do D5X,
yeah, so does mine. Yeah, but I mean, I looked at the stats side by side, and the Gamma pound for pound has more armor, therefore it survives longer.
So it has better buffs for CM.
Yeah, I'm just gonna play with it, see how it is. I've got 16 Gale 3s right now, and for the next couple fleets, I really won't be using Gales, so I figure I'll just throw them on the Zelos, see how it goes.
Do you know what I like about this is the fact that it's a reasonable price, the fact that it's a mid-level player's thermal ship for their base, and there's tons of Gale 1s available. So if you can't get stacks and stacks of points, at least you can get something to go in your base now that A, it's got thermal, and B, it can shoot down a heck of a lot of mortars.
Yeah.
I think it's a great for a mid-level player. I really do. yeah, it's a generous hull, and I get that sort of stuff, and whatever a generous hull is, but I think it's going to be an interesting thing that's going to be quite versatile, which is maybe why it is called the generalist. But I think it's got some pretty fluid usage. I think, I must admit.
How they would make this into a FM thing?
Well, people were saying that they think it could be the replacement for the Punisher, potentially, which is dangerous because Kixie have been trying to do something about the Punisher itself for quite some time.
Yep.
Because it's got one hell of a shelf life.
Oh yeah. Honestly, looking at this and seeing the resist and everything, yes, it can be used in the FM. I still say the Punisher will probably just outdo it, just for looking at it.
I think the only thing, profile down, the Zealous looks awful. I just think it looks like, as somebody just said in chat, Space 1999 remake. It's really boxy and, it's, interesting. But like the original Dread, it's just now looks so out of date, it's unbelievable. And the Cannoneer, which, we've had a quick look at it and that sort of stuff, but ballistic damage, ballistic reload, ballistic ranges, ballistic, building damage plus 50%, wall damage. It's interesting, wall damage plus 50%. There's a lot of things about this hull that I like. There's a lot of things I don't like, I have to say as well. But
so, is anyone using the Squall launcher or plan to?
Not as yet.
I might.
But not on this hull. But
yeah.
But I might on this one. I'm not sure yet. I got my mind up. Depends on how general I want to make it, to be honest. So, I don't know. Not sure myself. There's plenty of options, And there's a guard ship that I'm thinking about putting it in as well. So,
I just sort of play around on Huggies quickly and put it up against a Punisher. You can definitely use that as a replacement for a Punisher tank.
I think you can, mate.
I looked at the stats side by side now, and it looks pretty nice, actually. I might actually build one just for that. I haven't looked at it.
I wonder if I think people might try and make a tank out of it.
Yeah.
To lead sits instead. Especially those that think, so shall I build a Punisher now and that sort of stuff? Well, do you know what? Maybe not. Maybe you just don't. And if you can get this, then because it can do other things. I think and the range is not bad on it as well. So I think
it really depends on all the tech in your pool. If you're not really good at any one thing just yet, the Zealous is probably going to be great for you because it can be very good at everything, but it cannot be outstanding in any single thing as compared to the rest. They've made it a real beast since we first saw it back in the preview thing, but you really do have to focus it. I keep seeing builds that are all over the place. They try to make it do everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is me getting real close to the camera. Stop it. No, focus. You get to pick one thing that this particular build does, and you have to build towards that. You can build it towards many different things, but one hull can only do one thing really well. But the power in that is that you only need the one blueprint and the components, and you'll be able to do all the things pretty well.
Which is, as we keep saying, FM first, chores second, raid third.
Quick
Because
question.
you can't get the basics
Great for
done.
chores. Great for chores if you've not got any of the tier 4 tech.
Yeah.
Question: would in a Harlock Citadel, does the Bullseye crew affect the built-in countermeasures?
Well, we know that's look what's happened onto the Apollo. With the countermeasures on that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know until I see it in action, and I'm not going to speculate. Definitely not. But
well, they've got it built into the Harlock Citadel also, so I didn't know if anyone had noticed when they were running it with the Bullseye for, say, the FM or anything.
Yeah, it's I don't know, mate. To be honest, I mean, I know they've got them built in, that sort of stuff. Do you know what? If it wouldn't surprise me if it did have the same inherent issues as what the Apollo has, that basically the countermeasures shoot everything down, rightly or wrongly. That's been taken advantage of massively, particularly in the last raid set, and one of the TLCs as well. So, if it's the same outcome, then Bullseyes will probably end up getting really hard to get again. So, we'll have to wait and see. I don't have an answer, to be honest, because obviously it's too early to tell. Until we see somebody actually build 3 or 4 of these darn things and then chuck them on and then go and do something that's worthwhile with them, we're never going to know. And then everybody will jump on the bandwagon, as they always do.
Won't
You
be
know,
this
'cause that's the
time.
way the game works. I'll just go and quick look at the turrets if you wouldn't mind, because we've got 10 minutes left and that sort of stuff. So yeah, squirrel launcher, great. Okay, I picked that one up anyway. But interesting. I mean, yeah, I haven't got. That's all I've got left to get is some draconian coaxials, only because I've never had any. So, but you could get a second Deadeye ballista, which is interesting. You could obviously pick up another Drax scattergun if you still feel the need for it. And interesting, you can pick up another Wendigo, which I thought was a bit dead and gone, to be honest, unless something's going to come back. I'm not really sure. So you could double up on those.
They actually raised the limit to 3 Wendigos now.
Have I got 3? I don't think so. I only clicked it once. Unless I've got another one, I've never built it. Maybe I have, I'm not sure.
Maybe these are going to come back next raid and the raid after.
But things I noticed you couldn't get, obviously you couldn't get a second glacial, couldn't get another cold snap and that sort of stuff, you know.
If you check in your Intel lab in limited, it should tell you the capacity and how many you have owned.
Yeah, that's true.
The Drax scattergun is now up to 4.
Is it? I've obviously got quite a few then.
Yeah. I actually cried when I found out I couldn't get a second glacial.
Yeah, they're brilliant, aren't they? I have to say, I think that's one of the best turrets at the moment in the Infia base. I quite like the glacial. I'd like to have a second one myself.
Yeah, someone asked me Wendigo or glacial. I said glacial over anything pretty much in this raid if you can.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So the other thing I was going to notice as well, that obviously the D5 ST, you could collect 15 of those, and the Cannonier's got 3 slots. So if you were, like, say, going to go for a 5-ship fleet, you know, there's 15 of them. That, I don't know if that's a hint. I have no idea. Is the railgun back in because we were all asking it because it hasn't been used for some time? I haven't seen it for a while. I'm not really sure. A lot of people wanted the pack cannon, didn't they? Which is in. And we saw the prize list last week and we were quite content. A lot of people whinging about Cobra scatterguns, weren't they? Because they haven't seen them for some time. You could have got quite a few of those, which is interesting.
D30R is about the only thing I was hoping that did not make it in.
Yeah, but there's the other weapon. Is it Squirrel Launcher? I can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
It has the same attributes as well, the +3 across the board.
It has actually
It's
more.
so heavy. It's so heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking of putting that on my Tank Centurion, but
All right.
it's just heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's frustratingly heavy, in fact, isn't it? So, I don't know. The problem is now, yet again, we've got so much to build or so much to do. We've got no, I'm not saying guidance. I don't want guidance, because it's a thought-provoking game. That's why we're still doing it. But there's so many conundrums, I think, now. And so many avenues that we can go down. And what I don't want to do is go down the wrong avenue. So, yeah.
'Cause a mistake in the shipyard is costly.
It is.
It compounds.
Yeah. And especially with the raid cycle, I mean, we spoke about, and I'm going to next week, obviously, because we've got a really important show coming up as our final show. But I really would like some guidance. I don't have the time. Nobody has the time to go down one avenue and go, oh, geez, I've built 1 or 2 ships, and now I need to go back and build 3 or 4 others. And the fact that there's a month being chopped off the raid cycle for next year. Which is not good.
And one of the things that I'm a little bit worried about too is that I have my Hellrace and I love subs, I do, but I had so much more fun blowing through these targets with Tide Seekers with the Howlock than I did with my subs. That I'm
blitzing,
Cannoneer. Yeah, I'm building the Cannoneer, but I'm wondering in the back of my head, do I have to turn around and build an Ironclad fleet too, just in case? Which kind of sucks. I don't want to have to think like that, especially when there's so much to build now. Again.
And plus, as it was said last night, we don't want to wait till a week before the raid and find out, oh, look, there's a new gun. If they're going to put out a new gun, at least tell us they're going to put out a new gun.
Well, that would be generally classed in the British terms piss poor if they did that.
And yeah.
That would be
I want to know if we are getting one or not, and if we're not until look, it's either we're getting one in a TLC or the FM, or we're getting one in the next raid, or we're not getting one at all. It's one of three things. I just want to know which one of those three it is. Because
and
I
we
can
need
conceive
to,
of all three of those.
and we need to know this on Wednesday when they do the next update. Like, or we're all going to build stuff that might turn out wrong, but we can't. If we pause on the building, then we'll have no time left to build the ships for the raid. Like,
Well, I just thought I'd throw it out there. Anyway, interesting or not interesting, I just think it's.
It makes the building of it difficult. I mean, and
Yeah.
on the other thing is too is I am cranking out full hulls. We might turn around and find out, hey, you know what? You might not only need like one or two as a tank and have something behind it.
Yeah, very much so.
I mean, there's just like we have absolutely. I am praying next Friday we get a test server, something, even a video showing the next targets, so we at least have an idea of.
A weapon test server would be ideal. Just so they can test the weapon and say, yeah, it works, that sort of stuff. Even if it's on current targets, I don't really care. But at least we can see what it is, what it does, and then we can make an informed decision of to wait out or to build.
Well, that's why I'm cranking out 3. That gives me just enough time that I'm not feeling rushed. I can get all 3 built up with decent weapons, have them done before the raid, and if need be, I can still do a refit well before then. I may not be doing S-sets off the bat, but so what?
I may or may not already have 2 built.
But my gut feeling is we've got 2 options here. It's either going to come in a TLC this month or it's going to come in the FM. Because if it doesn't, well, I know it should come because that was the indication that we had. Because that's what was told.
Well, they said that a gun was coming. They didn't say what gun was coming.
No. As we said earlier on, George. But if it isn't for this, then do it after this raid is finished straight away, and either get the TLC out or put it into tier 5 or whatever it is. If you've got the Cannoneer now, then yeah, you must be able to get to tier 5. I'd like to think so in the FM. So stick it in tier 5. It needs to be the first prize. We ain't got time to wait. Well, first or second prize. We can do 2 cycles, can't we, in a week? But it definitely needs to be there straight away to get the damn thing sorted out.
Now, I'm personally thinking either it's going to be in tier 5 in the FM, or it's going to be in a prize pack for, like, say, a number 3 or number 4 prize pack for a TLC, because like
if you say Phantom Warfare, I will come through the internet and say,
okay, screw Phantom Warfare. The only reason I ever did that thing was one for, what was it, the 3-day token and the Phantom Cuda. And I still haven't built the Phantom Cuda. But no, I'm saying because the reason why they supposedly put the Cannoneer at 90 million, how they did it, was to limit the number of Cannoneers that would be on the water, so they could make the raid more balanced around Centurions. And all of us that actually went for it wouldn't walk the targets for free for the next 3 months or so.
Got you.
So I think they're going to either make it so tier 5 FM and very far into a TLC, so that way only the people that are actually able to get the Cannoneer are the ones getting the weapons. People aren't putting the weapons into Centurions and boosting their fleet past what they think they would.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm kind of leaning towards Tito last night said that he thinks it's going to come out in the next raid, and I'm torn between it's either coming out in the next raid or it's not going to come out at all.
If it comes in the next raid, that's bang out of order. If the Cannoneer weapon comes in the next raid, then they really.
Here's the thing: the reason behind them wanting to keep a limit of the Cannoneers was so that people don't get too far ahead of everybody else, so everyone still feels relevant, right? And if you let the people that got the Cannoneer also get some. I mean, hell, it could be an OP crazy weapon, and they get even that much further ahead of the rest of the pack. You're going to discourage everyone else playing.
Well, it's going to be my. I mean, I know next week's show. I mean, we're reviewing the year and that sort of stuff, and I know what we're having. Our last show is next week and that stuff for the year, as we mentioned on the page and that sort of stuff. But it's definitely a question we're going to ask, without a doubt, because we've got the ideal people on the show to be able to ask the question. And you know, if I don't get an answer, I'm not going to be impressed at all.
I have
we're
concerns
not-
about the statement that George just made about, people don't want to get too far ahead. No, that's the whole point of this entire game structure.
I didn't say people didn't want to. I said they didn't want people to.
Mm.
And yet you can coin everything from build to rank. That's not, the economy is directly contradicting this particular design philosophy. So
Brian,
you can even coin a mega tour.
Talking about? Yeah, I mean, who are we talking about? I didn't say logic was going to come into this.
well,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean,
I do try to bring logic, and that is occasionally my folly.
That's generally why you're here, Brian. Right, okay, admin's quiet. Okay, and let's shut up for 5 seconds. Across the board then, okay, and we're going to start off, hang on a minute, Holes, you mate, okay, and sum up this year, if you wouldn't mind, mate. If you wouldn't mind, sum up this year. You're from January right through. What are your thoughts?
Well,
Are we going up? Are we going down? Is it getting better? People coming back in? Is it a worse game as it was when you started the year? How's it rounding off for you?
Because last year I stopped playing for a while because I got real busy in life, and I had just gotten back into the raid and getting top prizes, and I went 6 straight months getting top prize, no coins, real easy. But this past month I stopped playing because I got busy again. But then I came back this raid and got everything good, and the tokens have sped me up so much because this year was the first year that actually player versus player base attack fleets in a long time. So I had a lot of time to focus on those with all the tokens.
Okay, cool. Thanks, mate. Dave, what about you, mate? Sorry. Have we got a microphone that's working now?
Is it working?
Yeah, we're good, mate. Yeah. Review your year, mate.
Try. My year was pretty darn good. I started off the year as a non-viable player, to be honest. Ended up getting help getting the Punisher. Once I got the Punisher and linked up with a couple of good guys and this site, actually. He's the one that told me about it. My game has progressed significantly. And at least now I still lack a lot of knowledge, so I ask a lot of questions. But I'm trying to learn and putting together some halfway decent stuff where I can kind of keep up. And that's just the way it's been progressing through the whole year, where I'm actually now able to help some people. So that makes me feel good.
Wow.
And you had asked me earlier when the mic was going bad about this raid, and just real quickly, I'll tell you, if I realize that I'm driving subs and they surface while I'm sitting there waiting to hit something, and they put me down, that's my fault.
Yeah.
Then those doggone oil slicks, they get me every time. So if there weren't any oil slicks, I bet I could be doing this for almost nothing. And if I had presence of mind to know I was going to surface, that would help me a lot too. So I need that's what I got to work on.
Yeah.
But no, it's been a wonderful year, and I'm hooked.
Excellent. Still hooked then, Mike, yeah?
I'm hooked, yeah.
That's good. Gummy, what about you, mate?
And I got to thank you, too, for all your help.
It's nothing, mate, nothing.
It's all right.
Well, my year, it's been an up and down year. I actually almost retired last year. And I got with my group, and they got me back into the game. And got me caught back up, and now I've had a better year this year.
A better year, yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole lot better. I'm back to enjoying the game again. You know, it's not like the old days, you know, when DNS and MCS were out, but I'm still enjoying it a whole lot more. It's more complex, I think, than the old days. But
do you think that's partly because to reduce power creep, they've had to put a different type of dynamic in that, and that's actually having to have fleets that have to be made of many ships, different types of ships to have the same effect. So we've got to think a bit more outside the box.
Yeah. The power creep, it used to be really bad. And that's I think what they did is to reduce the power creep, is let the players think outside the box and let the players come up with different builds.
Yeah, and I think we've lost a few people because of that. Because the ones that used to just go coin, 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 5 of the same, go smash, back of the base, go for it. We've lost some of those players. They've gone out of the game. They're not interested in that stuff. But I think actually the remainder that's here, and we brought some people back in from the earlier days. You know, because I brought a couple of people. Well, I've had a couple of people come back into my alliance that stopped as well, and they're enjoying the game again. Do you feel that similar?
I've actually seen a lot of new players. Well, a lot of old players come back, and it's because of that. I think they've changed the structure of the game back to more of a non-I win fleet.
Yeah, it's better in it. I mean, yeah, there's been a couple of hiccups. We know that because we know that there's been a couple of a couple of the lead holes that have come out, and all of a sudden the dynamics have been quite right. So, so I'm just laughing in chat because. That Monica's in chat. That's not Monica. It just happens to be Monica's hubby on Monica's channel. But there we go. I know who that is. It just makes me laugh every time he comes on. He wants to reword it and put it onto his own.
Is
It's
that Jeff?
BBST from he's with me in 217 at the moment. It just makes me smile every time he calls him Monica. It serves him right. He's logged on her account. So
I'm sorry, but if it says Monica, I'm going to call you Monica.
I know. He wears a dress anyway. Don't worry about it. He likes wearing a dress. Don't worry about it. Yeah, thanks, mate. And that's an honest opinion of the game, and I like that. That's really good. Yeah, it's interesting. I think we are. I hope they keep it up, and I hope they don't mess it up. You know, particularly the fact they've knocked a month off the raid cycles. I think they're trying to do it for our benefit, but we'll see how it goes. But thanks for your input. Imri, mate, what about you, buddy? How's it gone for you?
Oh, well, it's like up and down.
Okay, in what way, mate?
Well, downside is that now we can't use our favorite zombie subs anymore the way we like.
All right, yes.
And then your favorite phantom subs can be killed on the map too.
That's a huge change, isn't it?
Yeah, it kind of sucks. I haven't got my subs sniped with Tightseeker yet, but
Not many are doing it, are they?
later it will happen. And well, otherwise, the token situation looks good. Until we face the fact that every month Kixeye is throwing a brand new flagship at us through a TLC, which takes about a month to build. So there goes your tokens. Plus, there's a new fleet of something coming from the raid. Plus, every now and again, we got something else coming from a TLC as well that you want to build. So there's still a huge content overload, and you need to really pick and choose what you want to build.
But do you think the flagships have been? I mean, the flagships are generally of PvP holes that we've already got. There's not many stuff that we don't already have. Do you think you're just trying to get a bit of longevity out of the holes we already have?
Well, yes and no. Like, for start, there's the Harlock Citadel. There's not really a way around it. You really need that thing for the FM if you want to fast.
If you want it fast, yeah. But I've got a few people in my alliance that don't have it, and they're fine with their Punisher or their Tideseeker lead and just 3 or 4 maybe normal Citadels. It still works.
Yeah, I know that there's like a million ways to do the FM without a Harlock Citadel, but if you want to make it quickly, like within an hour or two, well, your options are limited.
Yeah, no, I do hear you. I must admit, because I've been using the Punisher and just the Harlock Citadel, nothing else, just those 2 ships, you know, and it does it in no time at all, which is quite interesting. What do you think about then about things like half-fixed dock repairs, auto-fixing docks, those sort of things?
That's a huge thumbs up for me.
I think that's probably the best things that have happened this year, to be honest. And tokens, because that's basically like a new shipyard, isn't it? To me, the amount of tokens we've been getting regularly now.
It was an even bigger thumbs up when they came out with the 10-minute dock repair,
which was a glitch. But yeah,
that's what they say. I didn't think so.
It was a glitch, mate. But there we go. It's like, who's next? I can't think of who it was. Nines. Can you talk still, mate?
Yeah, I can still talk.
Go on, mate. Take it away. What do you reckon? Just review the year in 5 minutes for me.
Well, I'll put it this way. Beginning of the year, my highest fleet was a fleet of V2Hs. And
wow.
Yeah, I actually went back in my videos as we were talking just to review the year. Yeah, my fleet was the V2Hs, and now I'm running pretty much most of the fleets. I can do anything on the map.
Mm-hmm.
Tokens, that finally, they're the best thing we can do. Base parts.
Yeah.
It's just helping get everything out there. I mean, as an example, my fleet for this raid was pretty much a 60-day build, and I managed to pop it out in a month and still have a week free.
Yeah. That's good, isn't it? I have to say. Do you know what? Of all the things that have happened, for me personally, I think the lack of power creep has been quite decent. There have been a couple of hitches on the way, but the lack of power creep and the reduction in overall complete fleet build times. We're not back into that 120 days, 130 days, for 4 ships and that sort of stuff. Those days are well gone, and they should never come back.
That and the fact that we do not actually have to build 5-ship fleets anymore. I'm actually running, for most of my fleets anymore, I'm running 3-ship fleets.
Yeah, or you can pull something from a previous thing that you built and then just add 1 or 2 of the new things as well. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm doing anyway.
I know people that are actually, someone told me about this and I was laughing my butt off at it. They were using a Tideseeker tank for their FM tank with DNXs on 109s. Yeah, I've seen Novas and a Tideseeker, so I don't see why DNX can't do it, on 109s. But yeah, how long has the DNX been out and they're actually still using it? Yeah. Well, it's quite a versatile hull, especially now, obviously, with its extra range and that sort of stuff. And it's extra, the drop-off's been reduced on it as well, isn't it, for Mort? So that's quite decent. Yeah. Okay, cheers, mate. It's excellent. Right, we've got one more. I recognise the picture, and sorry, is it Jeff? Is it? Yeah, it is, isn't it? Go on, buddy.
Hey, TSM.
Hi, mate. How are you? All right?
Pretty good. I think it occurred within the last year. I think the biggest change in the game that's positive is the push to a lot of the ship attributes server side and the analytics that changed how we interact with Kixeye, and Kixeye views what we're doing in the game, has removed all those people that were doing stuff client side. I think that's been the biggest change in the game in my mind. The second thing would be the plethora of ship build tokens in the FM and the TLCs that allow people to, basically they created a dry dock system.
Yes, agreed.
And I think those are the two, in my mind, the two most positive things they've done in the game this year. So that's about it. I mean, I could list a zillion things, but I was just keeping it short, and I think those are my 2 favorite.
Okay. We'll nip across the admins. We won't say too much because obviously we've got a particular show midweek next week that we're going to wrap a lot of stuff up in this. But Brian, for you, go on, give me one thing that you think's been amazing this year.
Yeah, it's definitely got to be the addition of all the build tokens into the FM. It allows people to keep up with all the things they have to build pretty well, but it requires you to have a high level of skill to keep hitting tier 5 twice a week. Or a high level of tech, I guess.
Excellent. Thanks, mate. George, what about you, buddy?
I'm actually going to go with the tokens because when I first started this year, I had taken some time off last year. I was a bit behind for the first quarter of the year, and then finally caught up into the FM. And once you hit stride, it's a different game. Those tokens change the entire game.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think you're right, actually. I think once you get that and you maintain that, and it encourages people to maintain that cycle and log in and do their FNs.
Yep.
Yeah. Once you're up there, aren't you? It makes a huge difference. It's a different game. You're right. You're ahead of yourself. Stu, yourself, mate. What about you?
I think planning has been the main difference between this year and last year. I mean, I'm a known rage quitter. Gummy can tell you that. I've rage quit my alliance several times, dropped tags, said, fuck this game, I'm never playing again. All right? I've broken keyboards over it. I actually bought an expensive keyboard I think it was about £100 Razer keyboard, and I ended up busting it because I got pissed off with something Kickstarter did. But I've had this keyboard now for about 10 months. You know, touch wood, I've not broken it. The game is in a lot more healthier state. I know what's coming. I can sort of see what's coming. I'm not getting frustrated with the little things that they do and stuff like that. In my opinion, the game is just in such a more healthier state than it was a year ago. You know, I mean, as one's already mentioned here, that hacks, you know, everything on server side, brilliant. Tokens in the FM, so much easier to get the fleets done that you need done. You know, and there's a plan for everything now. Beautiful, apart from Cannoneer, which we have no idea.
Yeah, but I mean, literally, we're halfway through the raid that it's just arrived in. So, you know,
I'm sure we'll find out soon.
Yeah, whilst we're bitching, pound to pinch of salt, you know, we've not been left hanging for very long this year. You're right, we have been given some solutions, that sort of stuff, and we've definitely been, I'm not saying led by the hand, but I feel there's been a lot more guidance this year, which has stopped a lot of the raging.
Yeah, that's my main point. There's so much more guidance now, and we understand what's coming up in the future. I mean, I know the work in progress of the month and all that posts, they've gone. I mean, while they were in, there was a lot of sort of, you know, clear direction of the game, you know, what was happening, when it was happening. And the sort of pattern has come about, and now you sort of, you know what's coming, don't you? Rather than before they kind of shoved something on you, you had no time to prepare for it, and you were just like, oh crap, what am I doing? You know? So yeah, a lot less frustrating.
Yeah, it is interesting. For me, personally, then I'll finish this off. I mean, for me personally, there's two things I like. One thing, I like the interaction with the reinvigorated Kickside team that's involved in Battle Pirates. I think that the adaptions that we've had, and some individuals that have come into the team that used to be in the team have come back, and then some new people that have come in as well. I think there's definitely a new passion from the Kickside. I really do. I think they're passionate about it. You know, some of the things that you know, there are some interesting dynamics. You know, mega holes, that sort of stuff. Love or hate them. It's a bit like Marmite for the Brits. You either love them or you hate them. There's no grey areas. You're either into them or you're not into them. But the point is, it is another dynamic. You know, the splits, you know, between PvE and PV, and obviously, you know, PvP. Whether you like it or we don't like it, it's interesting. It helps, I think, in some way. But actually, for me, I think the best thing is, for me personally, as being a presenter and obviously one of the admins, it's the attitude of the community that we've got in TFC. And I'm not saying that to big up our own website. I'm saying the people that come onto our forum page act like grown-ups 99% of the time, and I like it. I really like it. It's the only reason I stayed. And I warn Liam, if it gets stupid, I'm out of here. It's the end of the year, I'm still here. People actually do help each other out, you know, and they do genuinely. Yeah, and we do get 15 or 20 questions sometimes a week going, can you help me out with such and such a build? But if people generally come back and go, well, give us an idea of what your build is, what you've got capabilities of, rather than just trolling them and doing all sorts of stupid posts and that sort of stuff, you know. Yeah, we've banned 100 people in nearly a year, but so what? It's only 100 people.
It's only 100 people out of 8,000.
8,000, nearly 500, not quite, 8,400, I think it is, something like that. So that's not bad, I think. I think that's a pretty good hit ratio, to be honest. It's a slightly more grown-up area, I get that and that sort of stuff, and maybe we play it a little bit more seriously. I don't really know. You know, it doesn't need to be overly serious, but obviously I don't like people having to waste coin. I don't like people having to waste their time. So yeah. I think it's done its job. I think it's going to go from strength to strength next year. We've got lots more plans and that sort of stuff, you know. And I'm pleased the people that have come on and have stayed on, you know. And it's definitely a lot of long-term players as well as some new guys.
We have a very great community at TFC.
I would just like to add to that as well that TFC page is probably the most active Battle Pirates page I have seen. I mean, I run the base design page. That's got about 13,000 people, something like that on, you know, and the TFC page smashes it for activity. You know, there's just constantly something going on there. There's constantly admins answering questions, or just normal players from the community answering, you know, trying to help out everyone else. Absolutely fantastic page.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of good ads actually on top of that, and you know what the hell's in chat then as well. Huggy, hats off to Huggy. Without that man, the game could have died. I honestly,
yeah,
the man is a legend. You know, he absolutely is. And do you know what? He never asked anything for it. I know he's got a few ads on his page. Yeah, quite rightly. You know, that man is an absolute legend, and without him, I think, you know, I don't know. He ought to get at least 1,000 coins a month, I think, from Kickstarter,
He
because
should get a Nobel Peace Prize.
he should. Well, he should definitely get a ship named after him, without a doubt, at least, or a building even, so it stays there forever. But that man has saved the game from the community aspect, without a doubt, because that's my first port of call every time. And I don't know any Battle.net player that's a decent player in the game that really doesn't look to Huggy's shipbuilder for sort of some inspiration. I can spend just as much time on Huggies as I can on the game sometimes.
Yeah, and the thing with Dave too is that he actually has no problem like taking criticism. If you find an error, he does not have a big head at all. He'll be like, "Yeah, okay, I'll fix it." And I mean, he fixes it, and it doesn't. It's not like a week later. It's this times I've seen him fix stuff within like 5 minutes. It's ridiculous.
No, he's good. He's absolutely
fantastic guy. And actually, Darren actually said something to Thunder. His page has helped immensely in the last few months. I mean, some of the stuff with the way the spawns for the map targets and stuff, and finding dubs. Great little page. Yeah, fantastic little page.
And we're all helping each other because everybody links into each other's pages, which is definitely working. And that's made it. I think it's brilliant. Right, gentlemen. Okay, we're 1 hour and 20, and we're not going to do a crib and do it with 2 hours. Okay, so we're going to cut it short there. I didn't think it would go on this long, but just want to finish off because it's the last sort of community bit for the year, unless one of the guys wants to do something later on. But this should be the last open mic, I think, for the year. So I'll just say for those that have come in, thanks very much for coming on this one. I know it's mid-raid and that sort of stuff. Everybody's probably got lots of things to either carry on doing or go and fix some stuff. So thanks for tuning in. If you get the opportunity and you have finished, I'm hoping you probably will have by next Tuesday, do tune in. We've got some special guests coming on, that sort of stuff, and we're going to do a review, okay, of the whole year from the admin's perspective. Okay? Good night, everybody. Take care.
Good night, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Later.
Good night.